Hey everyone, welcome back to the 6-5 Summit. I'm one of your hosts here, Daniel Newman, and we are on day one in the AI track, and I have another really exciting conversation here. David Liu, CEO Plus. David, it's been a year roughly since we had you on the summit. It's so great to have you back. How's things going?
Daniel, thank you for inviting me. It's great to be here today. Things are actually going great at Plus over the last year. We have seen a lot of momentum on the commercialization front. Most recently, early in May, we have announced a strategic partnership with Bosch. Bosch has one of the largest tier one, one of the largest the longest running tier one supplier in automotive space. It's an important partnership for us to have. We can leverage Bosch's global reach to put our highly automated driving solution in customers' hands. At the same time, we can also utilize Bosch's engineering services group to serve our automotive customers much better. We have also recently announced a partnership with Nikola to put Plus Drive, our highly automated driving system, on all of Nikola's electric truck lines, both the battery electric vehicles as well as fuel cell trucks that Nikola is launching. So the product's going to be available on all Nikola trucks in the coming year, in next year. And in Europe, we're deepening our partnership with Iveco. And recently, our Plus Drive enabled truck is running on public roads and testing in Europe with our technology on it. So we're seeing a lot of momentum on the adoption of the technology front, as well as the commercialization of the technology.
Yeah, I mean, David, since a year ago, actually, we came through to Northern California and we had the chance to visit your offices and take a ride in one of your trucks with the autonomous, the L2 Plus technology. I got to say, I saw it on video before, and of course, getting in any sort of big rig and being, comfortable without a driver, it takes a little bit of change, but it was a remarkably good experience. And of course, there was a driver there because L2 Plus means there was somebody there guiding it. But first of all, I just want to say your technology has moved in a very impressive way. And these partnerships, as I see it, are indicative when the largest OEMs in the world, when you have, Europe, which is always a very cautious policy in terms of policy, moving forward and enabling you to put your technology on the roads. That's a great sign. And this is a really important technology for safety. For of course, we know there's a lot of risk in this business. You're going to lower that risk, which I really, really like. Now, I do want to ask you though, a lot of companies over the last few years have kind of come out and said, we're going to do autonomous, or we're going to do, ADAS in semis, in large trucks. What is your sort of way of positioning Plus as different than those other companies that are planning to enter the space?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Plus always had a vision that eventually machines going to be able to make driving a lot safer, be able to lower the accidents rates on the highways, and make long haul trucking a lot more sustainable. We think that will be the eventual future where machines will be able to deliver driverless transportation for the society. However, we have a very differentiated approach to get there. We believe in an evolutionary approach. We think technology can be utilized to improve the transportation network today, can be used to improve the driving experience of the drivers today, and then can make the trucks much more fuel efficient today. So we have applied our technology in the, call it L2 plus sector, to make these trucks become highly automated driving machines, where you still have a driver behind the wheel monitoring and controlling the whole truck, right? It's monitoring our system to perform some of these mundane driving activities while the truck is, driving on hundreds and sometimes thousands of miles of highways. It's a very laborious job, and the machine is helping humans and helping human drivers do the job much safer, much better, much more efficiently. And along the way, we'll be able to gather a lot of data. We'll be able to use that data to improve the system, improve its performance even better, and to a point, eventually, it's going to perform safer than an average human driver. And that's the point where we think the discussion about producing and operating a driverless trucking network become more realistic and become a more scalable discussion. So that is our approach, and we have a highly differentiated approach to the rest of the industry on that.
Yeah, so it sounds to me, if I kind of recap that, David, that you guys have chosen a more progressive approach to get to autonomy because you can build up that safety profile. You can more immediately put the technology into market because it still has that driver support, but it can help make drivers safer for longer. And of course, you're going to gain a ton of training data concurrently while doing this safely in the market. So is that kind of a good succinct wrap up of kind of why you've taken this approach as opposed to maybe a lot of companies wanting to just immediately talk about we're going fully autonomous?
Right, exactly. So we're one of the first companies who's put forward this technology approach, which is data-driven, model-based, and it's based on generative AI approach. We're one of the first company who's embarked on that path, and we're starting to see a lot of rewards on pursuing that technology approach.
Yeah. So, speaking of technology approach, the industry, especially automotive, is really focused now on software defined vehicles. How does that sort of impact on the trucking side plus? Because, with so many OEMs trying to build their own software capabilities, is this a partnering opportunity? Do you see this as a competitive issue down the line? Perhaps it's somewhere, it's somewhere in the middle. Where is it going to land for you at Plus?
Yeah, I mean, I think the industry right now is coming around to have a consensus that the future will be software-defined vehicles, right? So automotive is starting to changing from a hardware-centric approach to more of a software-defined, software-centric approach. And I think to make that transition, various companies are seeing different challenges in making that transition. And recently there have been some, big events, starting with Oracle and Carriot and all those companies. It's an area, I think all companies will continue to test to make sure that, we're future proof. But along the way, we're going to encounter some challenges. Now, Plus is a software company. We're software centric. And over the past 7 years, we've built up a lot of expertise in understanding what software is necessary to help drive the next generation, call it automotive solutions. And, we've been working with many OEMs and tier ones and partners who have a lot of expertise on the hardware side. And we believe we've gained a lot of expertise and we're ready to offer a lot of that to willing partners.
Yeah, I definitely think collaboration with software is going to be important. What made the historic industry successful for some of the tier ones, David, but not necessarily for consumers, was that so many unique parts. And then you saw over time, in vehicles, for instance, and over time you'd see, oh my gosh, there's, from the bottom to the top of a line and then across a bunch of different brands, they started making parts more and more similar. But cars are now becoming like computers. So of course, you can reference like what Tesla's done, but it's like you can have the car any way we're almost back to the beginning with the Model T. You can have it any way you want, as long as you want it with that one screen that does everything. And I think that software is going to be standardized. So companies that can do the software really well are going to have big opportunities because that's what the consumer wants, is a consistent, easy to use experience. Same thing's going to happen in the trucking space. Tell me a little bit more about why in particular it's good for companies to partner with Plus.
Sure. So Plus offers solution as an open autonomy platform. So it's a software platform on day one that provides our OEM customers a turnkey solution. So you can install Plus system and turn your vehicle, whether it be a truck or a passenger vehicle, into an autonomous driving vehicle. It enables it with highly automated driving functionality, something like Tesla's FSD function. So that's on day one. We provide that as a turnkey solution. But at the same time, the OEM has the option to actually own and add and customize that platform on their own. So they get to actually own their own destiny. They can have this the open autonomy platform and continue to develop it and customize it with its own spec and its own data. So this would give the OEM the total control of one of the most important piece of their future business, which is the autonomy solution. So we basically offer our customers what's present, what's today, as well as their future. That's why it's highly different working with Plus, because we want our customers to be successful. We want our customers to actually control their own destiny.
Well, there's two really good takeaways from that, David. I mean, the first, of course, the open platform sounds like it's something partners should really consider. But the second is, sounds like you're also moving from being more focused around trucks to also moving in the direction of working with all types of different vehicle platforms, which I think is great.
Yes, I mean, we're getting a lot of inbound demand polls from OEM partners and customers asking whether we can adopt and adapt our trucking solution, commercial vehicle solution onto passenger vehicles. The answer there is absolutely yes. So we're extremely excited about seeing a lot of commercial momentum on that front. Years of working and refining our technology, it looks like it's going to be something valuable for the industry.
So with a little bit of time we have left, just a couple of minutes here, David, I'd love for you to kind of just give everyone out here at the 6.5 Summit just a little flavor of what you see coming next. What is going to come next for Plus?
I think from an industry point of view, autonomy industry is actually at an inflection point. I think the past few years or past decade, folks, including Plus and many other companies, has been exploring on different methods or methodology and technical approaches to solve the autonomy problem. I think we're at a point where from performance, hardware performance, software performance, the algorithm, data, and general consumer acceptance point of view, all of that is at the point where it feels like it's ready for big time showcase growth. So my prediction is that the next 5 years would actually be very different from the previous 5 years. The past 5 years were laying a foundation for the hyper growth of autonomy solution, autonomy adoptions. And I think actually the next 5 years will be the inflection point. And in terms of technology adoption, you always have these inflection point where prior to these points, you have linear growth or very slow growth. And then once you hit the inflection point, you're going to have exponential, dramatic growth. And I think, my prediction is next 5 years, we're going to see exponential growth in adoption of autonomy solution in the transportation and mobility industry.
Yeah, it's really an encouraging outlook, David. And I tend to agree. I can't see a circumstance in which we don't see, with all the acceleration on AI, all of the training data that we're starting to get from having these more intelligent vehicles on the road. And of course, with what you're doing in trucking, and of course, the need for safer, more advanced ways to get goods from point A to point B. That's what the world runs on. So it seems that you're really well positioned. And of course, I'm really appreciative of you coming on here, telling us what's going on, getting us up to speed in the trucking space. But of course, you're also talking AI, which is what you're part of here at the 6.5 Summit. So David, thank you so much for joining us this year.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. It's good to be here.
And there you have it, everyone. David Liu, CEO of Plus. We were talking autonomy. We were talking about the future of vehicles, transportation, AI, and so much more here at the 6.5 Summit on the day one AI track. Stay with us.